You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Presented by CMH Heli Skiing and Peak Performance.
This episode of the LPP is brought to you by CMH Heli Skiing, Peak Performance Outerwear, Fat Tire Amber Ale, RMU Skis and Mountain Culture Shops, and the official destination partner of the LPP, Kicking Horse Mountain Resort in beautiful Golden, British Columbia. Enjoy the episode.
Berkey.
How are we?
Good, man. I'm glad we made this happen.
Yeah, me too.
We've known each other for what, a week now?
Almost.
Oh, not even?
Yeah.
I've been to Calgary and back to Whistler twice.
Yeah. A lot of driving for you.
Yeah, that's all right, though.
Yeah.
Like, good podcast. I know a good podcast I can listen to.
Low pressure.
Yeah, no, I don't listen to my own. Some people ask me, do you ever listen to your own podcast? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I was asking you that the other day.
Was it you?
Yeah, it was me the other day. I was like, well, I was listening to you this morning. What do you listen to when you drive?
That's right. Yeah, I don't listen to myself. I try not to. I do when I edit it, but no, I can't. I can't do it. I find that, like, do you ever watch your own interviews?
No, I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, because you can, like, listen to things that you say. Like, the sound of my own voice I don't have a problem with anymore. But, like, the things that I say drive me crazy.
Yeah,
Like, I'll say something, or I'll say it's stupid, or I'll be like, just get the point across. Or I'll, like, be having a conversation with somebody, and I want to transition to a new part. And then I'll just be, like, talking in circles, and I can tell I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in my brain, so I'm just going blah 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 blah. Or
yeah,
like
try to get to the end there.
Yeah, it never works out as well as I hoped. I'm gonna slide this just in a touch. That work for you?
Yeah, that's
Sweet.
good.
All right, so we are in downtown Calgary. Do we remember the?
Yeah, we're at the Delta Hotels by Marriott, downtown Calgary.
Yes, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. We are. Thanks to them for setting up this sweet space.
It's dope.
So I called you this morning. I'm like, hey, we could probably just do it in your hotel room because I've done a bunch. And then I went in there.
It's a mess.
And then here we are. I walked in. I was like, nope.
Well, to be fair, and you got two cats living in a hotel room for a week.
Right.
It's
two athletes. How old are you guys?
23.
Yeah, two
Both
kids.
of us, yeah.
Two
Groms.
kids living in a hotel room for a whole week. Just,
Yeah.
You're wearing the socks you got from the Icon trip we did last week.
Yeah, I'm running out of socks. I'm running real low on everything.
That's so funny. So we went, so we'll just highlight. So we met last week on like a CMH kind of Icon trip. We were supposed to do Heli Day, but unfortunately the weather wouldn't let us go.
Yeah.
But they found alternative stuff for us to do. We got to shred Kicking Horse. We went to Revy. And then when we were in Golden, we went for dinner at the Reposados in the igloos. And they came in and like, we have gifts for everybody, socks, and you and Cass just lit up. You're like, oh,
it was huge. I didn't pack any socks for this trip, but I was like, no
Zero
chance.
socks?
I mean, I got like 4 pairs of socks.
How long was the trip?
I think it's a pretty short one. I think in total it's going to be like 10, 12 days.
4 pairs of socks,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
Are they at least like socks you can wear a couple days in a row?
Yeah, I could run them for a few days.
Yeah.
And then like it's kind of like on rotation, right? So it's like wear the one pair and then that's airing out for 4 days, right? You're wearing another pair, and then by the time you get back around to that first pair, they're basically clean because they've been airing out for a few days.
The dirt's evaporated off.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I like your thought process, but it doesn't work that way. But then, so you guys were like, oh my God, socks, we ran out of socks. She's like, hey, I got 2 pairs. I don't think I've ever seen anybody more grateful in my entire life. You guys were so pumped.
Yeah, they were huge.
I was like, simple pleasures, right?
All right. Everyone's been talking about my socks. They're like, where did you get those things? They look unreal.
For real?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have got 2 pairs.
You should have.
I didn't put them on. I had them on yesterday.
Bad call.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? That would have brought the YouTube content up to the next level.
Oh, everyone would have been so stoked.
Right.
If you matching socks.
Did you go through both of them already?
Yeah.
One's airing out.
Yeah, one's airing out. One's already on the air out.
Sweet. So we got to hang out last week. That was pretty sick. Have you ever skied Revy or kicking horse before?
I skied kicking horse last year because I went up there for another CMH trip.
Right.
In the pretty much spring last year. Mm-hmm. And then we got a few down days, as you do, heli skiing, and got to ski kicking horse a bunch, but never got to ski Revy before, and it was so fun.
Yeah, it was nice. We got on a good day too.
Yeah,
some POW, got blue in the afternoon. Yeah. Solid crew.
So fun. I haven't skied with a crew that big in a while.
It was almost too big, but not that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I heard, because I missed the Louise day, and they were like, the crew was a little bit big, but then it was kind of everybody kind of like would disappear and then catch back up.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I just like love skiing with crew like that. I grew up skiing with like a giant crew of kids, and it just kind of like brought it all back. Where I was like, damn, this is so sick.
Because you're on the tour, right? You don't get to ski because what were you talking the other day? You're like, I just want to ski POW.
Yeah, I just want to go shred POW now. Because it was like so fun, just like shredding laps with your homies, like no filming obligations, just like lapping.
No pack, no filming obligations.
9 to 4 all day, just with your buddies, just like yucking off stuff. And
right.
Yeah, we had a sick crew. Good snow. It was super fun.
Yeah, we were with Abe from GoPro, Lucas Catania, the YouTube guy. Did you watch any of his episodes?
I did.
He's good, eh?
Yeah, he kills it.
Yeah, and he puts them together in like
I don't know
overnight.
how he does it.
The next day he's got a new one. It's 20 minutes long.
Yeah. I was like dabbling in the YouTube thing for a little bit, and I wasn't really even doing it. Like I had my buddy Griffin doing all my stuff for me, so he'd film and edit.
Yeah.
But just I was like talking to Lucas about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I do like one a day." I was like, "One a day?"
That's what I said. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's absurd. It's like a 20-minute video.
Yeah, but I think, I get it. Like I've done like episodes where I'll get clips, and then put them together like the next day, and that was like 8 or 9 hours of editing. But like I think he's done it enough that he edits throughout the day. Like as he's recording stuff, he's like, all right, I remember this. We're going to use this segment. And then he records stuff. But then like the one from Revy was awesome because like Carter McMillan was launching like a animal.
Dude, that guy is such a nut. He was so dope to shred with.
Not enough people know who that guy is.
No.
Go follow Carter McMillan, the guy let's just launch this massive booter in through the trees and find this little snipe landing and then out.
So gnarly. Yeah. Like some of those things he would step to, I was like looking over the edge like, no, I'm good.
Do you find pressure from that? Because you're a Redbull athlete and everything. Everyone has this thought that that's the pinnacle, right? That's the pinnacle of sports sponsorships is a Redbull sponsorship helmet. Like when you're out around crew like that, like you were throwing down too, but he was launching over your head, right?
Dude.
But do you ever get like pressure? Do you feel pressure to like perform or to do something, or can you easily just be like, no, I'm cool?
I wouldn't say it's like pressure, but it's definitely like, I don't know, like the honor of the Redbull helmet also comes with like a lot of eyes.
You can't pussy out all the time, right? You can choose to do something different. But
we roll up to North Pole, never been in there before. And I'm like just looking around, just kind of like pussyfooting around, and I like Carter's just jumping off of stuff left and right, going ginormous. And all these kids like looking at me. They're like, "Oh, it's the kid in the bright pink outfit with a Red Bull helmet." I'm like the loudest dude in there. And then I'm like, all these kids are flipping this cliff. I have like no clue what it looks like on the back. I'm just sitting there for a bit, like, don't watch this. Like, don't look at me.
And I think it was all the freeride club, like freeride kids from Revelstoke. So it's like the kids that are the best,
and
the
they
best
get
skiers
after it too. Like those kids were so good
launching. And there's you kind of where I'm standing. You're standing beside me. I'm like, shouldn't you go and hit something?
I was like, I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
But no, it's not like as much pressure. It's more just like, I don't know. Just don't slam, or if you do, make it look like
good.
At least do slam on something sick, you know?
Yeah.
Like
that kid that did was it called the diving board?
Yeah, diving board.
High dive.
That's what it is, yeah.
Launched and bomb hold. Like I'm like, cool, he aired it, and then he was a full punter, like climbing up to get his thing.
Yeah.
And then Carter ended up landing in his bomb hole.
Yeah, Carter landed just like 20 feet lower, but still in his bomb hole in this hike track.
Yeah, because he had to hike up and get his ski, but he didn't like put the ski in and go. He was just floundering with a pole in each hand. I'm like, how do you air something like that,
Dude?
and then not know how to like hike up through snow?
Yeah, that's a big cliff too.
Yeah, and Carter launched the huge backy.
Yeah,
like massive. Like I got to give it credit because he's like, oh no, you're fine, buddy. Like he's so nice.
Oh, I would hate that. He was getting iced for like 20 minutes up there.
I know, and I was on the other side. Like so, we're across like Barbie angle, and I'm like, dude, go. And they're like, calm down. I'm like, Carter's like, no, it's fine, man. He put in the track. I'm like, get him out of there. Yeah. I'm trying to like, I'm looking like a dick because I'm like, dude, get out. Carter's like, no, he's fine.
All good.
And sure enough, cold ice in his veins, just launching that.
Yeah, that was gnarly. Fun to watch.
Yeah, super fun to watch. Super fun. Yeah, it was a good crew to hang out with. All right, so you brought up the hot pink one piece. Mm-hmm. Is it a one piece or is it two piece?
It's two piece.
All right, so what's the deal?
I mean, well, so last year I got usually I've always just run real dark clothing.
Right.
And then last year I just like got an orange jacket. Just like, I didn't like order it. They just were like, hey, like we have this like orange coat with us. Do you want to wear it? And I was like, yeah, sure.
And it's Spider?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Spider's like coming out with a bunch of new lines like of, loud clothes. And I like put on the orange coat and I was like, oh, I'm pretty down with this. Like I want a whole orange suit.
Yeah.
And then like unfortunately couldn't get the pants. But then this year they were like, I was on a meeting with them and they're like, hey, do you want like pink? And I was like, sure. Yeah, I guess I'll take some pink. And then I don't know. Yeah, they just sent me the fit and I'm pretty fired up on it. It's loud.
It's loud. Did you compete in it?
Yeah, I did.
Because I didn't know, because I always think Olympics and I always know they have their country outfits. But then I saw a picture of you up like training the other day and I'm like, oh, he's actually riding in the pink outfit.
Yeah, no. So for all the World Cups, we can just run.
Do you think it's going to add or detract from your points totals?
Should add. I think it's like, especially in the nighttime too.
It gets added to style points?
I wouldn't say added to style, but just in the nighttime, it's bold to run such a like bright outfit because it's like against like the black backdrop. You can just see so much. Like if my arms aren't, or if like I'm not grabbing, it is very obvious to tell.
Right.
Like you can just see it.
So it's almost a drawback for you. It's almost like a reason for you to be better.
Yeah, it's like be better.
You have to. You have to be better. This thing is bright. When you look at like a color in bright light, we were talking about this the other day, and like you close your eyes and you can see like the negative. You look like an orange. You close your eyes, it's like green or something like that. I was staring at it, trying to figure out. It was burned into my retinas.
I had that the other day when I got into the lodge, and then I went in. You go from like super bright, like outside.
Right.
You go inside and it's pretty dark, and then you can still see kind of like flashes of the colors. Because the lights are kind of dim. Yeah, I had that. I was just kind of seeing pink. And I was like, oh, jeez.
Because you were saying, like, it's so bright, like, you're going past some snow or something. You can see, like, reflecting.
Oh,
off.
yeah.
You can see reflecting off the wall of the pipe.
Yeah, it's sick.
Does it give you, like, a little bit extra, like, oh, there's my lip?
I wish.
There's my takeoff. Yeah. It's like a cheat code.
I wish. Not quite, though.
Not quite.
Yeah.
All right, so you're here for the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
You were in Calgary, as we said. You did one the other day.
Yeah.
And you came in 6th.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go for you?
It was all right. I mean, I was kind of just fresh off that trip that we were on, pretty fired up on going and shredding POW, and I just wasn't quite like there.
Into the mindset?
I just wasn't like with it, and it was just like kept like looking off at like Lake Louise and Sunshine, all that.
You can see the mountains.
You can see Banff and everything from like COP, and I was like, that looks fun. I want to go shred POW.
You think so? You think that's what it was? Is this kind of a mindset?
Yeah, it's just like a full I feel like just competitive skiing is such a mindset thing.
Because I was asking you just jokingly a minute after, I'm like, I'm going to ask you about sports psychology, and you're like, oh, I'm kind of like the only guy that doesn't do it.
It's just like, a lot of it's just mental.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can just like get into that headspace of just like, all right, I'm at a contest, I'm gonna do well. Usually it like works out, I guess.
And that's a super, super, super simplified way of putting it. But is it that simple for you? Just be like, I'm here and now it's comp time.
For the most part.
Unless you're thinking about POW.
I don't really do like, I mean, I've never really done sports psych ever. I've kind of just like, I mean, I've been competing for years, so it's just kind of like been built up and I figure it out. But it's kind of just like, I just know I'm going to do it, you know, like I have a run and I know I'm going to just try that run. Like there's no way around it. Like I'm not going to just like be in a final or be in a contest, roll up and then just like half-ass it, you know?
Or second guess yourself. Like, should I add this or should I add that?
Yeah,
you pretty much know, you pretty much roll up knowing what you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a better chance of me adding stuff than taking things out, unless it's like horrendous weather and it's just like impossible.
Well, wouldn't adding something remove something in a half pipe
like
run?
Adding, I mean, that's like the other thing that's hard about pipes, because like you have 5 hits and you have so many tricks to choose from. You're like, oh, this would do well, but so would this, and like it's just like hard, especially when you're like this pipe, for example, super short.
Like in distance?
Yeah.
And the walls are all 22?
Yeah, all the pipes are the same height, but they're like different lengths. And this one's hard because it's like you can go really big and do 4 hits, or you can go kind of small, do 5. And it's like, what do I do here?
Well, how does that affect, you know, like how does that going to affect my score, right?
Yeah,
like more technical might score higher, but more tricks with the volume, like with number 5 might bring it up to that
exactly
point.
And it's like, all right, I have 2 tricks that I want to do, both land switch and both put me into the skier's left wall, switch right, you know? So it's like, all right, which one do I do? Where do I put this? Where do I put that? And it's like, it's hard to just kind of like piece it together.
Right.
But most of the time, kind of circle back to where we were at before, is like when I get into a final, you know, it's just like, I'm going to do this and I know I'm going to do this and it's like going to be gnar, but like as soon as I drop, it's like kind of just muscle memory in a sense.
Right. Yeah. How often do you vary your routines up? So like at the beginning of the season, are you sitting down with your coach and you're like, all right, these are my, like, do you isolate, okay, these are my go-to tricks. These are the ones that I can do with my eyes closed. These are my backups, my never fails. And then do you isolate, okay, these are the ones I want to work on this year? Or do you say these are the ones that are going to get the most points? Do you kind of map out your run like early season, and then do you basically run that run majority of the year, or is it always changing? Like how does the dynamics of that work? Like how do you set up your runs for like events and for like a season?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of works different for every single person. Like for me, I don't, like some people build up a run for years, you know, like they'll have the same, I guess, base model of a run, like, so the foundations of the run.
Base model, yeah.
So there's like,
I gotcha.
You know, like how a truck comes, you know, you get like the tradesman package and then you keep going up
cloth
and up
seats
and up
and the
up.
turning windows, yeah.
Then eventually you got like full leather heated interior, right? That's like the end all be all.
Yeah.
And like, so everyone's kind of has their base package of their run. And some people will build on that run for years.
Right.
Like the run that I have kind of done is like the same kind of
foundations.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've been doing the same exact base run, but just adding stuff in here and there.
And does that go like per comp? Like, all right, next week I'm going for the heated seats.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, it's kind of like pipe to pipe too. Like,
oh yeah,
like vert wise, you know, because if you're on a hit and the harder you're doing, like the harder you're setting to do a trick, the less you're getting off the wall. So if the wall's like not vert enough and you're trying to like slang something, you're landing like 5 feet on the deck, you know, and then you kind of like, all right, what trick can I do here that I can pop more on to get me back in, and then can I just move this here? So it's all kind of just like laying out strategic little bits, you know?
So would you run basically the same like routine? Is it what do you call it, a routine? Like run?
Yeah, run.
Yeah, I'm thinking Olympics. I'm thinking like figure
skating.
Like
dancing.
What's your routine? But do you keep like the same run like every week or every comp? Like are there people that you're like, he's gonna do this, and you watch somebody like he's doing this, he's doing this, she's gonna do that, and they're gonna land, like you can call it and it's just expected? Like is it other people that, including yourself, that keep it that consistent?
I try to switch things up. I mean,
does it affect the
finals,
judging? Because if you do, say, the same run 3 times in a row, like qualies, semis, finals, if you do the same lap every time, do you get deducted points for non?
I don't think it does, but like I don't think it actually does, but I always feel like it does. Like if I've done the same run, like last year I did the same run all year, and I was like, this sucks. I hate this. You know?
Were you told to, or you just
no? It's just like that's just like what I was doing. You know, it's just like by the end of the year, like by the time we got to China, it was so stock. I was like, I mean, I'm doing this run. This is chill, you know? And like yesterday for qualities, I was just like, and the other day, I guess, just since we've been here, I've been just trying to like mess around, do different runs, just try and like play with stuff. You know? Right.
Interesting. So it's just kind of up to I guess, I'm going to ask a judge that and find out, like, do the judges get bored because they know what they're going to see? But I guess maybe it's even different and more interesting because the judges have seen you do that 3 or 4 times or whatever, how many events. So they know, like, oh, this one he dropped his hand a little bit, or this one was a little less amplitude or whatever, you know?
Yeah. I mean, at least for me here, I like the last comp we did in Copper earlier this year in December. I won, and I was like thinking about doing that run here. I was like, well, I can't win with that run again, you know?
You can, but you don't want
to. I've already
won
with that run. Yeah, I could, but I also feel like I can't because I've already done it.
But personally, it's been done, right? But like, it's interesting because you have like almost like a free skiing mentality to it, right? Well, I've already done this. Let's do something else. Versus like, if you went to the full-on competition, like Olympic athlete side, you'd be like, sweet, that one, I'm going to do it again because I've got it dialed, and we'll see how that plays out, right? So it's interesting. Maybe that's where the sports side comes in. Maybe you should talk to somebody and like analyze that. I'll analyze it for you, but that's interesting to me. And I like how you think, like, okay, I did it already. It's time for something new and different.
Yeah.
But also, if you're on like a world tour and there's money involved and crystal globes and you know, fame and fortune and whatever it is, I'd almost be inclined to do it again just because I know that's the result I'm going to get, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but it's also just like switching up like something, you know, like just like here, I think I'm just going to switch up the order, you know, same run, different order.
Just
know?
to keep
just
it
like
interesting.
Something different, you know, just like linking 2 different tricks that I didn't link last time, you know, like, because I've had the same, like for years now, I've had the same left 14 to switch right combo, and I've done it 1,000 times, you know.
Left 14 to switch.
But it's like boring. You know what I mean? Sorry. But I've just like done it so many times that it's like.
So you're telling me that like throwing a switch 14 to a switch 12, did I get that right?
No, I'm just doing 14 to switch right.
Oh, only, okay. No. But you're telling me that like being able to do that still isn't thrilling?
Well,
like, have you done it enough time that it isn't even like a thrill to you anymore? It's just more of like, well, ho-hum.
I just like the feeling of putting something new together. You know?
Right.
A new combo, I guess.
And I'm asking this question from a guy who's like, sweet, I landed a 360, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's exhilarating, but to watch you guys do that, it's like I can't even imagine. So it's like, that's what I wanted to ask is, like, is it still exciting to be able to do that? Like, if you did just say that same run that you've done that you won with over and over, but you just nail it perfect. Yeah, it's like skiing a PAL lap. There's laps on Whistler that I've skied 1,000 times, same sort of thing, right? Still
just as good. Yeah.
But there's like a different conditions, or I ski it a little better, or I land it better, or I time it right. There's all those little mini variables, and like sometimes they're better than others. Yeah. Do you still get that fired up? Like, oh, sweet, I nailed that run. Did you know that you had a chance of winning? That run that you did that you've done 1,000,000 times? Were you like, oh, I nailed that, I'm happy with it?
I mean, yeah, I get like super fired up on it. Yeah. But I guess I don't know. It just feels really good when you do something new. Fair enough. Like, yeah. And just the feeling of putting something together and it working out. You're like, sick. That's dope. That worked out. I want to have that again. Right. Because you got to keep it interesting for yourself. Yeah, exactly. Because then otherwise it's like, just if you do the same run, like after last year I did the same run all year. I was so burnt out. I was like, I've done this same, and it's like I don't know. It's like as far as judging goes, like an actual just half pipe skiing goes, it's like built to do well. You know what I mean? Like everyone builds their runs out to do well, like putting all 4 directions in there, and just like the way you kind of plan your run. And it's just like I built mine out to do really well, and so I knew it had the potential to do well. But by the end of the year, I was so overdoing it because I was like, this is like, like it still feels really good to land the run. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, I want to do something different. Like I want to have something like exciting when I'm dropping in. It's like, let's see how this goes.
Right.
You know?
And then so did you rebuild a new run for this year?
Kind of, yeah. I just like am like kind of deleting some stuff, adding other things in, just like trying to keep it interesting.
All right, so now I have a question about the pipes because you put an idea in my head. So they're all 22-foot walls, but they're not all perfectly shaped. Yeah. You said the vert is a little different, so sometimes they might be like out a little bit or a little more vertical. Yeah. And then the pipe itself, do you have steeper pipes than others?
Yeah.
And I never really actually thought about that before, but it makes complete sense.
Yeah, like the steeper the pitch is on the slope,
right?
Like wherever the pipe is, it's gonna be faster.
Faster. Do you like that? What do you like better?
Really fast pipes.
Yeah, like so, like a steep pipe.
Yeah.
And then do you like tighter walls or kind of walls that are
Kinda
out a bit?
Depends.
Yeah.
I mean, like I like for actual like contests, it's nice to have them like a bit spaced apart, because then you kind of have time to like gather yourself.
Oh, you mean like the distance in the bottom?
Yeah, in the flat bottom.
So that's another aspect too, right? Yeah. So you can have the steepness of the run, right? There's the distance between the walls, but then the walls themselves, are they always perfectly vertical or some like out?
Yeah,
like,
some are like out,
flared out a little bit more than others.
Yeah, and they're a little harder to get back into.
So you prefer a steeper slope, more vertical walls, and a little extra space,
and a little bit more space, but not too much space.
Right. Where's the best pipe on tour?
I don't know. This one's sick right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Canada, COP?
Yeah, Calgary COP right now is holding it down. It's sick. It's so good.
That's sweet. Yeah. Are you worried that Halfpipe might not exist in the future just because of the costs of it? Like Whistler had an amazing pipe. Like look at all the athletes that came out of Whistler. Yeah. Like Trennan, the Canadian coach is there. You got Cassie, he's got a gold medal. You got Dart, who's got a XGames gold medal. You know, there's a lot of athletes that went through Whistler, and now that Vale's purchased it, they don't even maintain the pipe anymore, which is a huge shame. Do you think that's something that might continue to happen? Yeah,
it's kind of a bummer to watch because there's nobody being introduced to the sport,
right?
Because there's no access to it. You know, like the only pipes that you can really get now are Copper here, Mammoth, kind of later in the year, and then. And there's locks in Europe.
So not many.
Not many.
How did you get into it?
I used to ski slope. I mean, I was kind of ski both of them.
Where are you from anyways? I don't even know where you're from.
I'm from Winter Park, Colorado.
Winter Park, Colorado.
Yeah.
Right? And did you grow up like in the resort or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right at the base pretty much.
Right. What did mom and dad do?
Dad's the director of ski patrol and mom was a Spanish teacher.
Yeah, okay, I've heard this story.
Yeah.
I've heard this story before many times. It's kind of how it works. Like parents wanted to be ski bums and they figure out jobs so they can live on the hill and have kids. And then the kids go and just annihilate the mountain.
Cause a ruckus up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
I remember when you were causing problems when you were this big.
Can't get away with anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So your dad is head of ski patrol and your mom's a Spanish teacher. A / probably shredder as well.
Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish?
Not really, no.
A little bit?
I'm not fluent like her.
Enough to get by?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Was it you telling me you had some kind of a story where people thought you were Spanish?
Yeah.
What was that all about? I don't remember that story.
Well, I was, we were down in Mexico for my buddy Lyman's wedding. And it was like me, Torin, Alex Ferreira, and Lyman was getting married. And then like a few of his buddies out there. And I was like speaking Spanish just like in all like the markets and stuff. Like I guess I was towards translator because he doesn't know a lick of it.
Right.
And he just like started calling me Mexican. And then like somebody approached me about doing I don't know like how it got around, but somebody like approached me about doing a story on how like my Mexican heritage or something.
As a half pipe skier,
Yeah.
Mexican heritage,
Like,
Mexican half pipe skier.
I'm not
For like some like news outlet or something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Did they email you or did they come up and like chat with you about it or what?
No, one of my like managers like came up to me and he's like, "Yo, I just want to double check on this quick," and I was like, "Yeah, no,
I'm not Mexican.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Okay, so I forgot about that, but I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah.
So you're not Mexican. This Mexican teacher, and then you just start skiing pipe in Winter Park. Is there one there? Or was
Yeah,
there?
they actually still have an 18-footer there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I grew up there, like shredded the mini pipe, I guess. I learned like kind of like the basics there, like flares, flat fives, all like the sketch flips you do in the pipe as a grom.
Right.
You know, when you're like with your buds and you're just like, oh, you should try this. Wow.
Yeah.
Just yucking yourself in the pipe. And then I went out to Hood one summer, and then we're like just lapping the jump line there, and then they had like just like it was when you had to lap Palmer to like hit the top jumps, like the big jumps.
Right.
And I went in and they had like salted it in like perfectly in between, and we were like bombing into these jumps before, and then go in, just rocket boosters on the lip, and then just completely missed the whole landing and like annihilated my leg.
Oh.
Like I did tib fib. And then like that next year I like couldn't hit jumps because the impact of like a jump landing was too much for my leg and my ankle, because I had like messed up my ankle like when I slammed but
Right.
didn't get it treated. And so I like couldn't really hit jumps at all. And then so I kind of started just skiing a bunch of pipe.
Because it was
Because
it's more of a
like,
transition.
if you actually match the tranny, like, or land on the wall, it's a lot nicer on the body than like a jump landing or a knuckle.
Right.
And I think that's kind of how I got into it.
And that's probably why you don't. Do you ski slope right now too?
I do every once in a while, yeah.
But not because of that. Mostly.
Yeah, not because of this anymore.
Does it still bother you?
No,
No.
it's chill now. But it was just that season I like, and then I like tried to make another push for slope, but it was just tough.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. Is it's kind of forced into it, and it was kind of worked out well
Yeah,
for
it
you.
did for sure.
Yeah. Cool. So how did you? This is what your third or fourth year on tour, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I don't even know.
More.
I think I started doing World Cups when I was 15.
Oh, geez, 8 years. Nice, 8 years.
Yeah.
Holy smokes! What was your best finish overall?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
I'm not sure.
You don't seem to really care that much. You just like doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, I don't know what I've ever ended up overall. I haven't won overall.
No
Know
Crystal
that.
Globe. No,
No,
you won.
no
You
globe.
won an event this year already.
Mm-hmm.
How many events have been going on this year? 3,
2.
2. The one that we just did,
Yep.
and then
So,
Copper. Is
yeah,
there 2 in Copper?
No, there was 1 in Copper.
Yeah.
So Copper Grand Prix, we had 1 2 days ago.
So you started one off with a win, and then you got 6th place on this most recent
Yeah.
one. You got another comp tonight.
Yeah, we
Which
got 1
is
tonight.
cool that you're sitting here talking to me. That's why we're chatting about the sports psych. And I'm like, don't you have to get prepared? He's like,
Yeah.
I've done it enough. And like you just explained, I've done that. I've done my line 1,000 times, so I can just.
Yeah, it's kind of just like once you go, you're just going.
Who's your coach right now? Is it Margie?
Yeah, Matt Margetts
Yeah.
and Mike Riddle.
Nice.
Coaches right now, yeah.
Couple solid Canadian
it's
kids
sick.
on their home pipe.
Yeah, it's dope. It's funny.
What have you learned from them? What do they bring to the table that things like, because you've been doing this 8 years, what do guys like that, who obviously Mike Riddle's a medalist, Olympics medalist, and Margie's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, for a while.
And he definitely knows what he's doing. So from a guy that's been in the game for 8 years himself, what do you gain from a couple coaches like that?
It's kind of just like during contest stuff. Like they're just like super good buddies to hang with outside of everything, you know, like just fun dudes to be around, like kind of just like a good atmosphere to surround yourself with. And then like during a contest, I'll kind of like, I tend not to really like watch the contest. I just kind of like do my thing because I'm going to you know, like I was telling you, it's like inevitable. I'm gonna do my run, you know, like it doesn't matter what somebody else does. But kind of just like if I like do something, land it, and then I'm sitting in like a certain spot that I don't want to be in, you know, I want to do better.
Oh, like on the standings, right?
And then I'll like go to Mike and Marge and be like, hey, like what do you think I need to do, you know,
to get you to that next spot?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So they can like they just like watch the whole thing, so they kind of know like,
right. And they know all of those little extras and those tweaks, and they know what you're able to do and what you can add and what you can take away, and then they can just give you that coaching to say, hey, I think this is what you might need to put in.
Like, yo, do this,
and
you'll be good, you know?
Right on.
Yeah, or like they'll pay attention to my run, like I don't see my run either, and they're like, well, you did this, this, and this, like,
right. Do you ever do like
better?
Do you do film afterwards or like follow-ups or anything like that?
Yeah, they like video everything, so they just send it over to us and we just watch it.
Check it out after.
Yeah.
All right, so let's transition to a different style of skiing. You've been doing some filming with like Torn and the DV8 crew the last couple of years. How'd you get into that? And I know and do you think it's long before that's a full-time gig for you?
I don't know.
Because we were just talking about how stoked you were.
I was fired up on it.
Right? Ski and pal, not necessarily wanting to be at the comp. Like, I guess I'll do it anyways. Yeah, like, sixth place for a guy who's not fully invested. Like, I guess. Well, I'd like kind of talked. I've known T for a long time, and I was talking to him. He sold me his old sled. You know, like I was 16. So you guys know each other from? Is he from Winter Park as well?
No, but he's from Aspen. Okay. So we just like know each other.
How far away are those from each other?
3 hours.
Okay. Yeah. But on like comp circuits and national
like
teams and stuff like that.
I've just been around him for a while.
Right.
And he sold me his old sled when I was like 16. And then so I like
Did you even have your driver license to drive it around?
Yeah. But I was towing it around with my Forester for a bit. And I had like kind of just like been getting used to the sled, you know, figuring it out. And then I was like, T and I had talked about like, I know I want to do filming, and then it was the first year that he had like retired from competing. Him and Jossie had teamed up.
Yeah, that first TV film was awesome. You got a small part in that, don't you?
Yeah, I think I have like 1 or 2 clips,
right?
Maybe a couple.
I think it's the first time I realized who you were.
Yeah,
because I don't really follow the comp circuits as much. Like what we mentioned Maxime Chabot the other day. I'm like, how do I know that guy's name? Right? He's a Freeride World Tour guy, but you don't pay attention to every event. Like, there's so many people to know that you hear names. You're like, how do I know that name? Right?
Yeah, I definitely know where that name came from. But.
Right, exactly. It's like how you got to have context to it, right?
Fully. Yeah. But yeah, I guess T was like, hey, we're going out to Cook City.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and I just wrapped up my competition season, and I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll come. That sounds sick. And I drove my Forester towing the trailer with a blown leaf spring.
The Subi.
Yeah, towed it over to Torrin's house, and then I loaded my sled up onto Torrin's truck because his sled was on Jossie's truck because they just took Jossie's truck out there.
The double deck, right?
I first deck load ever, load my sled up onto Torrin's sled deck in his icy driveway, just like, oh, this is so gnarly. Drive out that night, met him in Jackson.
I was waiting for you to be like, and I drove it through his back window.
Oh, dude, I thought I was going to. His roommate wasn't home either. I was like, oh, geez, I have to do this solo, first deck load ever, and it's in a driveway on pavement and ice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to do this. I was like very fresh on the sled by then as well.
Right.
But I couldn't take broken leaf spring Forester trailer mode out there, you know, like,
to Cook City. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a long drive.
It's a good start, man. You learn a lot of lessons doing stuff like that. That's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I went out with them, met them in Jackson, then we drove to Cook City, and that's kind of how I got like introduced to the whole thing. It was super fun, very eye opening though.
Right, like I always like asking people what they learned about it, but what are the things that you found similar? The sitting around and waiting. Because when you're shooting, right, when you're on the comp circuit, you got to sit around a lot, right? In between laps,
it's like a bit
stuff.
of like posting up and But I got the hell beaten out of me out there.
Yeah,
it was just like full ego check.
right? What
rolled
was
out.
it? Was it the terrain? Was it the sled? Was it a little bit of everything?
It was just like my first backcountry jump ever. Like
Really?
proper backcountry jump. And went out, built it, and then we built it one day, and then the next day I was like, or like that night we were like talking about like what tricks we're gonna do on it, you know, and I don't know, we only had one filmer, so then one of us was gonna shoot Barbie, you know, or a second angle. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go do nose butter 10 and then I'll be done. I just want one hit on it. They're like, yeah, sure, all right, dude.
Yeah, laughing at you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, all right. And then I was like, oh, it should be fine. Done one before. I was like, go out there, just like 5 tries later, just getting the shit beaten out of me, just on this landing, like knuckle, overshoot, blowout, tomahawk, like you name it. I was like, oh man, this is hard. This is really hard.
it was just because it was like the different conditions. You're not in a perfecty manicured jump with like...
Yeah, it's not a groomed landing. Like, yeah.
So not many POW landings in the past for you.
No, I'd hit like a couple jumps before that, but they were small, and this one was just like a lot bigger and a bit more gnarly. I was like,
I don't remember if there's a crash reel in that film, is there?
I don't think there was.
You'd
No.
be all you.
It'd be a good bit of me.
Were they giving you shit about like destroying the landing? Like that kid we were talking about earlier with Carter's jump, just like quit destroying the landing.
Yeah, I mean, Jossie and I were kind of going tit for tat for a while. Dude, he landed a switch dub 10 on that jump before I had landed forwards. It was insane.
That's
it was
why he's
so nuts.
That's why he's Jossie Wells, right?
It was incredible.
Yeah, he's incredible. And it was just that was not long after his injury too, right? Wasn't that his first mission back?
Yeah.
Wait till he's got what he's got now. So are you going to be doing filming with them this year? Like their last film, this year's film was what, Chameleon? I think it was called, with the cool little animation, the cool little dude popping up. Were you in that one as well?
I was not, no.
No? How come? Did they invite you back because you destroyed the landing?
Because they beat up the landing. No, I wanted to get out with them last year, but just like with the whole Olympic season, I was just like beat down. My body hurt. I was like, my back was so mangled for so long. I was just like, I don't know what I can do. Like I just like had like all these ambitions to go out and meet him up in Canada, like go film with him, and I was just like, I can't, like, I'm gonna go up there and be miserable. I'm gonna touch a shovel and just like, oh, sciatica. Like,
oh really?
I was just so beat down and like I don't know if I had the motivation to like, I was just like almost burnt out on skiing there for a second.
Right.
Like, I just like, it's not fun to go ski because I'm just in pain the whole time. Like this isn't enjoyable for me.
And that's just from the full season putting in the work, just getting ready for Olympics.
Yeah, just pipe run after pipe run after pipe run. Like we mapped it out the other day. I think it was 36 competition runs last year.
Wow. And then how many training runs and like that's competition? Is it competition runs including semis, qualies, and like
just like that's just
being judged? 36 runs being judged.
Yeah, 36 judged runs.
Oof.
Yeah.
And then there's all of the training and all the warm up runs and all, like that's a lot of
a lot of half pipe.
Yeah, man. And the half pipe's the gnarliest type of skiing there is, in my opinion.
I don't know. I just feel like it's Big Mountain.
Perspective, really, because Big Mountain, you can kind of point it forward and you can stay on your skis, but like everybody, I think, can get to a point where you can ski Big Mountain to a certain level, right? Like you can choose the terrain you're in.
Yeah.
Whereas with a half pipe, you can't really choose that terrain. You're like, you can choose how much you can get out of the pipe if you can get out of the pipe.
I feel like it's kind of like the same thing. You could say that about everything, though. You know, it's like all as gnar as you make it.
True,
you know
but I think I don't know if people agree or not. Maybe put a message in the comments.
Yeah, poll.
Is half pipe skiing more gnarly than big mountain skiing, right? And obviously, there's a lot of variables to it, but like, you mess up half pipe skiing, you're either folding yourself on the coping, right? You're either falling 20 feet to the flats, right? Like there's really not a lot of room for error on there. I understand big mountain skiing, like I get it. I've never figured no. No.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of just like
to
teach
watch
their own thing.
Like what's the biggest you've gone out of the pipe?
I don't know.
30 feet? Maybe not 30, like 20,
30.
18, 20 feet? Something
Probably.
like that? Okay.
I mean, I got like 22 on the XGames meter, but that's like...
Yeah. That's,
that's
TV
like,
22?
Yeah, that's TV 22.
Yeah. So 22, right?
Take 5 off of that.
And then you're coming back down, and you got to snipe this straight wall to put your skis on, and then come out at the bottom at like terminal, like basically falling from the sky from like a second story to like snipe this straight vertical little landing that you got to catch the bottom of, keep control of it, and then nah, man, that's way more gnarly than going straight off a jump and then landing, or like, I don't know, my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, I've just been doing it for so long that it's like,
right,
kind of got
the strength you got to have in order to be able to stay on your skis with that kind of force down out at the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you have like a full workout regimen? Probably, knowing you, probably not.
No, not really. I don't have like a...
The camps that you're forced to go to on the Olympic team, and then you're like, all right, sweet, I got my time in.
Yeah, I mean, like this summer I did a bunch. I went out to Santa Monica and fixed my back up.
Oh, yeah. Because you got access to the Redbull camps now, too.
Which is unreal.
Now, because of Johnny Collins, and I became aware of...
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, man, can you imagine just having every single treatment, every single machine, every gadget, and the people to show you how to do it, and they'll take the time to walk you through it. Like,
it's so personalized too. It's
I would live there. Like,
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. I was
do they have condos or like apartments?
Yeah. Well, they have like housing, but my uncle actually lives like 10 minutes away from it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, which is, I was there for like probably 2 months last year.
Really?
I would just go surf in the morning and then spend about 8 to 10 hours a day there. I would only work out for probably like an hour and a half, and then I would get PT for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then I would just like eat all day.
Eat and schmooze with the other athletes from all the different disciplines and stuff.
And just hang out.
That's one of the cool things about Red Bull too, is because they've got so many athletes from so many different disciplines of sport that you probably meet some really fascinating people.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with this like snow cross, like it was like snowmobile cross.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's yacked. He was huge.
Yeah.
Was,
snowmobiles are heavy.
Yeah, he was sick. He's like from Minnesota and just like race sleds.
What's his name?
Nick Lawrence, I think.
Yeah, were you just picking his brain on like, all right, what do you got to do?
Yeah.
How do I do this? Like,
it was funny.
Side hilling. What's that all about?
Yeah, it was super funny.
Those guys are wild. There's a bunch of dudes in Worcester that are like amazing sledders. Like amazing. Logan, yeah. Like he's a skier that can just. When he first came on the show, like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, he was talking about wanting to do his first backflip on a sled.
Yeah.
He was like, I think I got a couple years left. And then sure enough, he pulled it off. I had him on in the first episode of this season, and I asked him about it. He's like, he's so humble, though, but he's such a beast.
It's gnarly. Logan's a gnarly dude.
Yeah, but he's such a mellow, like mild-mannered, just friendly, nice, happy-go-lucky dude that is an absolute animal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I told this story on the podcast. I may have. But one day, my landlords were like redoing their deck, like renovating the house, and they redid all the decks, and they had these big like paving stones. Mm-hmm. So one morning, I pull the blinds up, and I see this massive dude just chiseled from stone, like looks like a statue carrying one of these little things. I look closer, and I was like, Logan is walking around with no shirt on, carrying these big square paving tiles. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, just doing some work. I'm like, cool, man. Like I'm trying not to look, but it's like so impressive, and I'm like, good lord.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, good for you, man. Sorry, buddy, I don't mean to. But yeah, he's an impressive human.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Is anybody like that you haven't met that you want to, that you get the opportunity to? Like they got like basketball players and hockey players, and they've got all sorts of different sports. And
I know.
Surfers. We were talking about that too. Every pro skier wants to be a pro surfer.
I know. It's the new thing.
It's
well, actually,
new.
no. Golfing. Golfing is the new one. Every skier, snowboarder is just all of a sudden.
Torrent's
me included.
Torrent's big into golf.
Yeah, Torrent started. Wouldn't say started it, but Torrent was kind of like the first one in our group that was like, "You guys should try golfing." We're like, funny, dude. And then now, here I am, like $1,700 later. I got a full stupid set of clubs. I'm like, what am I doing, dude? I suck at this.
Do you think you can keep it up?
I don't know. We'll see. If I don't start progressing soon, I think I'm gonna bail.
I just don't like it because I don't want to spend money to make myself angry. Right? It's like I can walk around. Outside for 4 hours for free, and like be stoked on it when I get back. I go with the dog and be like, man, I had a good day outside today. Or I can walk around for 4.5 hours, be down $150 and be fucking furious and just in the shittiest mood ever.
Fully. We actually, funny story. We had we were out in Hood this summer, and we started this golf tournament just out of nowhere. It was like a 2v2 scramble. So it was Hunter Hess and I versus my buddy Cassie Jarrell and Tristan Feinberg, and we were just like, oh, let's just like $10, like friendly game.
$10 a hole.
Or no, $10 just on the day.
Oh, yeah.
Play 9 holes.
Right.
So the first day we play 9. Eat dead nuts even at the end.
Right.
We're like, all right, 20 tomorrow. Play 18 the next day. And nothing. Even again. The last day we're like, all right, a tattoo.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the last day we played another 18 holes of the gnarliest golf ever.
Cutthroat,
dude. At the end of the second day, that's all I could think about.
Let's go golfing.
Everybody could just think about that. We're up on the mountain, all right, we gotta leave early today. We gotta be locked in on the course. This is gnarly. This is for a tat.
Did you win? Okay, tell me this. All
right, so we go down, and it's it was so much different than the first 2 days. Nobody's talking. It's super quiet, very competitive. Everyone got so into it. And then it came down to the last hole. And then Hunter and I won it by 1 stroke, dude.
Did they get the tattoos?
It was a putt, yeah.
Down to the last putt.
It was the last putt.
High stakes.
Dude.
Did you get to choose a tattoo?
It just had to be some stupid golf lingo or something.
A golf tattoo?
Yeah, so...
Did they get it?
Yeah, they got it.
Both of them?
Both on the thigh, yeah.
Was it say 4?
Yeah, one says 4 and the other's... And then Tristan got slice.
Slice?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was funny.
Would you have done it? Do you have tattoos?
Mm-mm.
They would have been your only tattoo.
Yeah.
They're fucking ridiculous.
It's a shitty golf tattoo.
A golf tattoo.
Yeah.
So then you'd have to continue.
Then I got to get another one, and then after that I haven't been able to play golf well because I just hit all my good shots.
Yeah, the stakes are low. You gotta have high stakes, right? Yeah. All right, so you got a comp tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what run you're gonna do?
I think so. I'm gonna do 2 runs.
2 runs
or 2 different runs.
2 different runs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what order? Obviously, you know everything. Like you said, you've got it done. Well, good luck. I'm going to come and watch.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm looking forward to that. So how many more comps do you have throughout the rest of the season?
I'm going to do tonight XGames.
Which is 2 weeks from now, right? 3 weeks?
A week.
A week?
A week.
Oh, it's next week?
Next weekend.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're on next Sunday.
Oh,
it's quick turnaround.
Yeah, I always end up missing it because I'm going to be in Europe. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I'll watch.
Yeah, and then...
Is X Games, so question for you, X Games or Olympics?
I don't know. Olympics holds a lot of weight, but I think it's being a skier. X Games is kind of... Wouldn't mean...
I ask that question to a lot of the athletes, and most of them say X Games.
Yeah, it's... Olympics just holds a lot of weight as far as brands and everything go, but I think for me, just growing up watching the X Games,
right,
since I was 5,
right,
and able to understand it,
seeing Tanner and
Dumont, just Sarah all the way back to there,
right.
So much history just in the X Games, whereas the Olympics there's only been 3,
right,
and it's just I don't know. It's just
But you get to represent your country though too, right? That's got to be in some next level.
I mean, they're both I don't know. I'm not saying I'd really be bummed if I won the Olympics, but
oh yeah, absolutely not. You'd be stoked both ways,
yeah.
Right? But if you could win one or the other,
yeah, that's tough. I feel I don't know. X would just mean a lot.
Right. It's a question personally, but like you can't. Sometimes you can't answer questions like that, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
You're just gonna have to go and win them both.
Yeah, then it's like do both, and you don't have to choose.
Exactly. What? So you're gonna do a couple more comps as X Games. Are you gonna do a couple after that, or are you
I'm
gonna
gonna do one after that? So X Games, and then I'm gonna drive straight from there to Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
Do that one, and then drive straight from there out to wherever we're gonna film, and then film the rest of the
Back
year.
with Torrin and the DVA crew.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Nice little.
Do you think
roadie.
this is the transition for you out of Halfpipe?
Eventually,
the slow transition.
Yeah, like slow transition. Because my plan earlier this year was to actually just like do like 1 or 2 contests and just film the rest of the year.
So what's the point of just doing 1 or 2 rather than just not doing any at all?
Keep my spot on the team.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Otherwise, like I just get kicked off the team and then I gotta restart, and it's a whole pain.
So to you, there's really no drive to be like, I want to win that Crystal Globe, or I want to win the tour. You just want to do as best you can. I
think a globe would be pretty sick to have.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that's like up there for me.
Well, what happens if you let's say you win tonight,
mm-hmm.
right? Out of 3 comps, you have a first, a sixth, and a first. That's probably going to put you right up near the top.
Yeah, I think.
So if you're running on that pace, and you get to Mammoth, you go to X Games, you do well in X Games, you do well in Mammoth, and you're still right up there. Does that adjust?
The only one that matters after tonight is what is it?
Do tour?
No, not do tour. It's just Mammoth. X Games is not a FIS comp.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. It's just
so it's just tonight and do tour and Mammoth.
Mammoth.
Sorry. Yeah.
And then say you do really well on both of those, and you're right up there. Would that adjust kind of how you saw things? Like, I have an opportunity to get a globe.
Well, that's it.
Oh, that's the end of the comp season?
No, there's 2 more. There's do tour and world champs,
mm-hmm.
but neither of those go to the globe points.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So there's only 3 that go towards the globe? 4?
4.
Oh, really? I thought it would have been way more.
Yeah, just 4.
Oh, so you're like, I was thinking, like, I was expecting it to go a little farther.
That's why I'm here right now, is because I won the first one. I was like, well, hell.
Right.
If I win that one, I might as well go try and, like.
Oh, see, my mind, I guess I should have checked and asked you about that earlier. Is like, I didn't actually know. I just assumed it would go on throughout the whole season, kind of like a skier cross event or like something like that, where there's like multiple events.
No, there's not that many. It's
interesting.
Like a pretty like small window, you know. Like if you're not doing well, you're like, shit, I need to get it together. Yeah. I don't got much left.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you got a couple left. Well, hopefully that you pull it off.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right.
The other night I just gave up. I don't know what happened. I was like, I'm gonna go ski paddle.
You just gave up.
But then now I'm back in it now.
Well, you still made the
invested
finals.
again.
You're top 10, right? That counts, right? And then tonight, get your shit together here, buddy. Come on, man.
Do better. Yeah.
I'm gonna be down there, just yelling out ridiculous shit, trying to crack you up.
Yeah, you and Eileen's fans. It's crazy.
I heard about that. Yeah, I was talking to Tom. Like, we were talking about, I think, we talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Calgary, it's such an easy venue to get to. It's such a cool spot. Like, the fact that the city doesn't do more to bring, like, load people up at the bottom of that, like, it's a really awesome event.
It's cool. It's fun.
Right.
I mean, I don't like watching pipe contests, personally, because I'm scared for everyone that's doing them.
Right, but for everybody that's like the random Joe Blow that lives in Calgary gets an opportunity to go and see that. Like, it's in the Olympics. How often do you get to see? It's an event.
It's literally the Olympics, but with like more people. You know what I mean? It's the same event,
right?
Essentially, like every event that we do for Halfpipe is the same event.
Yeah,
you know, it just has a different title.
Yeah. So you've got this amazing event that all these people can go to. We were talking about it. You're like, I wish there was more people. Like, have people clanging the cowbells and doing stuff at the bottom.
People going nuts, dude. I want that.
So I mentioned that to Tom, your agent, who's here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish they could do better. He's like, oh, it was busy. All of Eileen Goo's fans were there. I was like, no way.
It was crazy. It was mayhem.
Really?
Like, I could just, like, I was trying to get out and just go to the lodge, and the fence, they had, like, the fences set up, and everyone was smushed in, and there was no more alleyway because they had smushed the fences together because they were piling in, trying to get
How many people were here?
I don't know. It wasn't like that many people.
Mostly Chinese descent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like a lot of huge Eileen fans. It's crazy what she's done for the sport. Like
It's crazy what
so
she's-
many new sets of eyes
Yeah.
on the sport because of her.
It's crazy what she's done in life.
Yeah, it's
Like,
incredible.
She's got like 3 different massive like world famous lives.
Yeah.
She's
It's
a world
nuts.
she's a world famous like fashion model. She's a X Games gold medal winner. And she's a quantum physics, going to school for quantum physics or something crazy like that. Like,
Some I could never understand.
how do people turn into that? Like, I'm getting her on the show at one point. I guarantee it. So I called Tom and I'm like, I'll introduce you to her mom. I'm like, all right,
Good.
plant the seed.
Yeah.
I just want to find out. I want to talk to her about like dirtbag skiing stuff.
Yeah, word.
Right? She's on the cover of Hong Kong Vogue, but also talking about, backcountry booters.
Yeah, word.
Well,
I've tried to talk her into filming. I'm like, you should film a part.
yeah.
That'd be dope.
That would be some
Yeah,
next
that'd be
level
sick.
stuff, right? Do you want to sell? You get any of these film companies? You want to sell thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of downloads?
Yeah.
Well, send it to China. They'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. And she's cool.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah, right. Just a
Humble.
kid. Just
Yeah.
a kid who's good at everything.
Really good at everything.
One of those
Better
kids.
than me at everything.
Yeah. Most people. That's crazy. That's cool. At least there's a lot of people there to make it.
Yeah.
It must be better.
Adds to it.
Must be better when you're like at an event and there's noise and there's vibe and there's like energy from crowd rather than just like, yeah, that one guy.
Yeah,
the,
word. It's like,
the janitor's put his
Yeah,
broom down and he's clapping in the corner for you.
yeah, you gotta feed off it a little bit more.
Right.
It's just like a little bit more something like, I don't know. It's cool.
Do you guys have like when you're about to drop in, they show like Birk Irving, the screen on the wall, and like there's your picture or whatever, and it gives you stats, and you can be like, "Hi,
I think so.
I'm Birk." You could be like, "Ni hao ma," just to like cater to the crowd.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they might,
Oh.
but I'm like, I'm not super interactive when I'm there. I'm kind
I
of
know,
like
I'm just
to drop. I'm like,
No, I mean like a pre-recorded one.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that'd be funny.
like in
Yeah.
baseball or something, or you
they
watch
do
on
it at
X Games.
Locks Open.
Do they?
Locks has a sick like thing going. They like, they have the huge screen at the bottom, and they like have everyone does like a quick video,
your face
like
and
a
stats.
hardo.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Be like, "Ni hao ma," just
that'd
like
be
specific
sick.
event
Yeah.
or something. Just
They
to
should do
pander
that
to
for every contest.
pander to the crowd.
Yeah.
That's funny. And I totally forgot that I was going to call you a different name every time I saw you. So we were like, when we were skiing in Revy, some kid was like, I think that's Birk Irving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Bark Ivory. I'm gonna try and come up every time I see you. I'm gonna try and think of a different name to call you.
Go for it.
I wanted to take off so that everybody that ever sees you would be like, "Hey, what's up, Bork?"
It's a different name every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be funny if I had a bunch of different names rolling around.
Yeah, you can be like super incognito.
Super.
Bark Ivering.
Nope, not me.
No. Sweet, dude. Well, I appreciate you taking the time on a day. Like you said, you're just kind of chilling. Doesn't seem like you have much stress on your comp days.
Not yet, no.
No. Well, I'm glad I could fill some time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sweet, man. Well, I'm going to come and watch tonight, that's for sure. Let's go get some lunch. I'm going to, do that. So check out, you won't be able to watch it, but go follow Birk and you can check out your, I guess, results.
Or whatever. Or watch the new movie next
Fist
fall.
page. Oh yeah, the new movie, next fall, right? You can see I wish there was a crash reel of you from that last film.
I'll try and dig one up. I got a better one from the last movie that we did. Good luck. I got a really good slam reel. Dig it up.
Amazing. You should put that out.
Yeah.
I dig it. And then if you happen to be on the hill and you see a giant lipstick with pink lipstick with a Redbull helmet, you know who it is.
It's this guy.
Birk Ivering. Cool, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for watching this video on the LPP YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. And while you're here, you might as well watch this great LPP highlights video. Thanks.